Let's do a 1-year review of the Snowdog 7 horsepower compact. Let's go. So I've had this thing for 1 year and I used it on the ice a ton last year, not as much as I wanted to. We had some late start to ice season, but we're gonna be using it a bunch this year because I'm doing this stuff kind of full time now. So we're gonna be using it a bunch. Let's do a 1-year review. Let's go on like how the Snowdog really works first, and then we'll go over likes and then dislikes real quick. So this is the compact model, and this has a 208cc Briggs & Stratton engine in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. And that drives basically a go-kart clutch. Hopefully you guys can see that in there. Go-kart clutch, so there's a primary clutch in there and a secondary clutch in there. That drives a train down to here, which drives a track with bogey wheels on it. So one of the great things about the Snowdog is you can run it during the summertime with no issue because it's just got bogey wheels, no high faxes, no nothing like that to wear out. And it just has basically a snowblower engine in it, or snowblower engine in it, which, you know, if you take the cover off, it doesn't overheat or anything like that. So that runs great. So that's how it works. Let's go over the likes of it so far. So what I like about the Snowdog is, one, it is super compact and super light, and it tows a bunch of weight. So it's rated for 330 pounds on dry ground, which I'm towing today, which is my, let me collapse it for you. This is my Eskimo one-man flip-up. This is about 50 pounds. I weigh about 150 pounds. So I'm towing 200 pounds today on the preview of the video there, and it has no issue. So I like that. I like that it's super compact. And one of the things the reason I bought this instead of an old snowmobile or even a new snowmobile is, one, it's way less expensive. It's $1,800 or even $3,000. Is I actually put mine on a receiver hitch on the back of my truck. So it doesn't take up the back of my truck at all. This is a Haulmaster from Harbor Freight. It's got a 2-inch receiver. It's got a little ramp that pops down, so that goes in the back of my truck. The ramp pops down, I drive it right up on there, strap it down, and I don't need a trailer, I don't need the back of my truck. You can drive an SUV, you can actually drive it in the back of a hatchback like a Subaru if you wanted to. That is the number one reason I bought the Snowdog. Number 2 reason is I don't like towing all the stuff that I have to carry, which like all the camera gear and propane tanks, and dragging it out there, and I didn't have a snowmobile or a 4-wheeler. So that's what I like so far. The dislikes that I've realized so far about this is, 1, it doesn't have reverse, but I don't really need it. 2 is the primary clutch was bad from Snowdog, or whoever makes their primary clutch, which is the one in there I showed you. And what was happening was it was getting stuck and overheating and boiling the gas actually in the gas tank because it was getting so hot. So Snowdog was lucky to reach out and say, if you have one of these models, we'll send you a brand new clutch. Just give us your address, free, no charge. And this is my first ride with it today in 45-degree weather. No issue so far, and I touched the clutch and it stayed cool. So that was the only known issue that I've had so far. That's literally my only dislike about the whole entire thing, was that one clutch. I did get stuck on the ice once with it. I had to hit it with a hammer or a chisel or something like that to get it unstuck. But other than that, it's been fine. I've towed 3 sleds with this thing, me and one other guy, and 2 propane tanks and 2 pop-up tents and all the stuff you need to do a 2-person overnight on the ice sleepover in way northern New Hampshire. So 2 propane tanks, 2 Mr. Buddy heaters, tackle, fishing gear, camera gear, cooking stuff, bait, all sorts of stuff. And this thing had no issue towing us out in the ice. And it was not glare ice, it was like just frozen snow. Actually, it was slush, and the slush had just frozen, so it was perfect. It can tow more than that 330 pounds on dry ground, and on the ice it's just unlimited, like what you can actually do with it. This particular model is pretty much gear limited to about 20 miles an hour, which is more than enough. I did encounter like 15-mile-per-hour headwinds this past winter, and that was a little sketchy because it was only going like 5 miles an hour for me, but that's okay, it's better than walking. Let's go over the upgrades that I've done so far. So I've upgraded the clutch because of Snowdog. I have put in a NGK spark plug, which is recommended for this motor. I've changed the oil and to a full synthetic because of the cold, and I've also run a pigtail on the battery in there to make it charged. I've also run the Copland. These are like gun racks basically. These are for the K-drill or my ice auger during the winter time, so those are fantastic. And one more thing I've done, because I go on glare ice, cold cutters, which are screw-in studs, and this track actually has spots for screw-ins. And I've studded every other track. I did one pattern and then a two pattern, one pattern and then a two pattern. So those are the modifications that I've done so far. Really, other than that, it doesn't really need to do anything. I know a lot of people put a bigger headlight on it and stuff like that. Last winter, I bought a couple things for backup. I bought a secondary belt, and this year I'm buying a secondary chain just in case that breaks on these longer trips that I go on. But other than that, I absolutely love this thing. Like, it is way better than walking. I probably carry, including myself, about 150, well, about 300 pounds of stuff on the ice. So 150 pounds for me, 50 pounds for that, and then between propane and all the camera gear, and I actually carry like a car battery out there just on these like simple day trips that I do because of YouTube. I carry all this stuff, camera gear. It's way better than walking. This thing only weighs 220 pounds. Like, I just lifted that up. This actually has a lighter footprint than I do standing on the ice. So it's actually safer to run that on the ice than it is for me, one, and then two, it's way lighter than any snowmobile. So I think the lightest snowmobile on the market now is gotta be over 350 or 400 pounds. This is 220 pounds. Two guys can lift it up right in the back of a truck if we need to. And if you don't need to bring ramps or anything like that. I modified a clam hitch to run onto my my Eskimo flip over, which seems to work great. And in the lovely state of New Hampshire, it's considered a snowmobile, so I did have to register, and I actually insured it just in case it sinks to the bottom of the lake for some forsaken reason. So if you want a Snowdog, you can go to snowdog.com, and I'm not sponsored by them at all. I just absolutely love the product. I know a lot of people build these for themselves. They take an old snowmobile and they put a motor on it, basically from Harbor Freight or Briggs & Stratton motor, and strap it on there. And I was gonna go that route initially. I didn't have the time or the tools, mainly the time. So I ended up just buying it myself. So you can go to snowdog.com and do a dealer search, and you can find a dealer in your area. I don't know if they drop ship them to your house like mine was. This was just they were clearing out the warehouse of this model. I will leave a link for all the accessories I've done to it below. And I had one more problem with it. It's a known problem, is the bogey wheels have bearings inside of them, and the seals go bad and they freeze up. So I've had to replace the bearings in each one of these bogey wheels. It took me a couple hours to figure out, but and about $100 and fix those quick. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys reach out to your Snowdog dealer and buy one of these bad boys. They're like a mini tank. That's what everybody says. What is that? I'm like, it's my mini track snowmobile without skis that you don't ride on, but you ride in the back, and it goes 20 miles an hour. So, and you can rip it during the summer. I know people that use them during the summer for hauling wood. They also, do it for setting trap lines and stuff like that. It's an absolute great machine. So thanks for watching.